Hello everybody out there in TikTok world, Facebook land, YouTube, Instagram, all that good placey places. Welcome to 412 Productions. I am Monty Anderson, your host here at 412 Productions. Welcome to the show, everybody. I want to thank each and every one of you for stopping in and checking out the channel. Me, am an artist, yeah, in the world of everything. I do everything from comic book art to family portraits to dog portraits to animal portraits, no matter what they are, be it a horse, a pig, a rabbit, a squirrel, a skunk, a snake, you name it, I will draw it up. Also a military veteran, combat veteran at that, but it is... I haven't done any new artwork in a day or so, only because I've been dealing with other issues. If you saw my last live, you would have seen that, whoa, the winter weather was what it was called. Sorry, I got a mustache hair tickling my nose. And so I ended up with frozen pipes that blew under the house. So today's title is, Oh, All the Water Under the House. Yeah, I've been fixing plumbing problems. They are now insulated. There is a heat lamp under the house now. So yeah, it's been a fun past couple days. We were without water for a day and a half. I know that's not much for some people. But whenever you're used to taking a shower and all that good stuff, and you can't just walk in there and readily take a shower, we could have went to her parents' house, the girlfriend's parents' house, because they had running water still. But, you know, I've been crawling under the house in a tight crawl space at that. I'm not a small guy, okay? I'm 6'2", 240 pounds. And trying to get in that one little crawl space where the pipes hang low, it ain't kind, let's put it that way. But let's put it this way. We found one break, okay? Got it fixed. Turned the water on. Boom, there's another break. Okay, great. Get that one fixed. Well, in the process of fixing those two spots, ended up breaking 3 more spots. One up under the sink in the house, the other one at another joint that they didn't put together very well whoever did the plumbing before me, because they only had about that much sticking into the elbow joint that was coming down. So it was just a mess. It's still a mess under there. I'm gonna have to crawl under there during the spring or summer while it's warm. Well, while it's warm outside and cool under the house, obviously. And get into pulling out a bunch of the plumbing that makes no sense under there. It's not hooked to anything. It doesn't go anywhere. I have no idea where it really goes. They left ductwork under the house when all of the AC and heating ductwork comes out of the ceiling. It's just a mess under there. It's horrible. And then I also need to get under there to re-level some floors, because they left me a mess, a big mess, when I bought this house 3 years ago. Well, not quite 3 years ago. It's been a little over 2 years and a few months, because November is full 3 years. But how is everybody doing out there in TikTok land? I appreciate each and every one of you stopping in and checking out the channel. We are 412 Productions. I am 412 Productions. The art of Monty Anderson. And I do stuff like this for your viewing pleasure. Yes, this is a Billy the Puppet clock that I created on a saw blade, as you can see right there. It will hang because it does have all the nice little accoutrements to hang on your wall. Someone suggested I do this, you know, and I thought it was a good idea, so I gave it a shot. And I found a relatively inexpensive clock kit and placed on there, and boom, it just enhanced the flavor of that piece. Let's see here. Here's one of my however you want to say it, latest pieces. This is Spider Gwen right here, the Ghost Spider. This is my sketch cover that I did right here. So if any of you are interested out there that are joining the channel, you can hit me up in my DMs for a commission. I do all kinds of work, from not so safe for work to safe stuff like that, to your favorite caricatures. Let's take the Art of Art right here, the Art of Art. Again, on a saw blade right there. Art the Clown coming at you live on the Art of Art base. You can put your cell phone on top of here. You can do whatever you want on here because it's protected right there. And I also have the Billy one. That is, I want to play a game. Many of you have come to this channel thinking it would be normal. Well, you're wrong! But again, sits up on the base that says I want to play a game, and you can put your cell phone or keys or whatever on top of it as it is sealed. Like I've been telling everybody, this year is a year of change for my company. I have done a lot of different things. That I'm getting ready to do a lot of different things. Just because I killed one company, I axed it. And just because if I didn't want any negative connotations to be out there from anyone that had a bad dealing with me as a person. Which I'm a nice guy, unless I'm pushed too far, and then I will be an ass. It's just my nature. I don't back down from a fight, and if you want to start shit with me, it's going to get real, okay? And that's people in person, because there's no sense in harboring ill will towards somebody else just because of, oh, this person said this about you. Oh, this person, well, does that person know me in real life? Probably not. Has that person actually dealt with me in real life? Probably not. But it's funny how things get said by one person. I guess it would be a rumor mill. And then it leaks into everything. So, I killed my company, Anderson Graphics Kingdom, that I had basically going on since 2014. The very last day, December 31st, 2024, was the death date of AGK. Yes, that's what its nomenclature was called, AGK. And so, on January 1, at around 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, whenever I was awake, which I've been awake since about 3 o'clock this morning now, and it's 5 now, I came on and did my boom liveness with my new 412 Productions, which is what you see behind me, and I'll get close so you can see it right there. My little alien with my drawing glove on. And it's actually, it was my own hand that I created that with right there. But I wanted to start fresh and new for the new year. I had 412 Productions in mind for years, but I never really knew what I wanted to do with it. I know there's other 412 Productions out there. All of my social medias are pretty much 412 Art Productions. And if you, on TikTok, go to my bio up here, bing, you can hit my link. It'll take you to the website. From the website, it will take you to all of my socials that are underneath this 412 Productions alien logo, not the alarm clock. Because that's where the 412 came from. For those of you that haven't heard this story or are just now joining live, the 412 came into existence because pretty much even before I went to the military, I would wake up around 412. I mean, almost on the dot, 412, almost like 3 or 4 nights a week. And with that, it was just 412, 412, 412. I would pick up my phone, 412. Well, one day I picked up my phone, looking at the time, and it was like, boom, 412. It's like, okay, I put the phone down, I'm laying there, trying to go back to sleep, and then, like this big light bulb, this big light hit me in the face. Productions came across. And hello, everybody that's joining. I appreciate each and every one of you stopping in, even if it is for just a brief moment. We're talking about artwork and how 412 Productions, my company, came into existence within, it's been several years ago. But I was under a different moniker, a different title, up until January 1. And so, Productions, boom, like a big neon glowing light hit me in the face. Came across the mind. And it was like, Productions, why is that coming across my mind? And then I put 412 in front of it. It was 412 Productions. And it was like, okay, that's catchy. I like it. And it's fitting since I was waking up pretty much at 412 all the time. And so I put that on the back burner because I really didn't know what I wanted to do with it. I didn't know if I wanted to get away from the design that I had created with AGK, the atmosphere that I had created with AGK. And so I just put it on the back burner. I didn't think any more about it. And then somewhere in one of my last shows in 2024, one of my last comic book conventions that I was going to, and it might have even been San Antonio, I got to really, really thinking about it. And it was like, well, I need to change things up. I need to be fresh, be new with how I handle everything when it comes to the business. And so I came to the conclusion that AGK had to go away as a company and 412 had to come into existence. Well, in doing so, I did create another logo first. And I thought it was excellent. I did a sketch out on a piece of paper and scanned it into the computer, took it into my Illustrator, CS4. That's how old my Illustrator program is. Not the AI crap that you see now for Adobe. Yes, I'm not a fan of AI artwork, period. Not to mention they have extra fingers. They've got appendages coming out of places that, like legs coming out of crotches and butts, and it's weird. But I came up with a design. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was great. I had it already saved, ready to go. And then I just got to thinking about it. It was just like, I'm not a fan. I don't like it. And this was T-minus hours, to go before I was going to be launching the whole 412 Productions to the world. I had told a few people about it, Bonesy Jonesy, Brandon Jones at Bonesy Jonesy Comics and Collectibles in Jonesboro, Arkansas, when I was at his store doing my thing there. I told him about it, even gave him a card that had the old logo on it, and then it was just like, I really don't like it. I just don't like it. But this was the old logo. He is still an alien, yes. He's drawn on a sheet of paper. But then I was like, let's just redo it. Let's think of something better. So that's where this alien came into play. Drew him out, inked him in. He's hanging on my wall back over here, which you can't see. You guys can't see either. But he is the black and white is back here on the wall. I took him into Photoshop, recolored him, and there you have it, the new logo. But that's what we do here. We do artwork. We on anything, from blades to pieces of wood to metal to glass, you name it, I will draw on anything. So TikTok is saying some comments in live were filtered to protect the community's experience. I don't know what is being said out there, but be nice, people. I'm looking here. I'm looking to see. I'm not seeing any comments yet, but apparently there was some comments in there. A lot of people have joined, and I appreciate each and every one of you. But if you are sticking around, please like and share this video out to your friends, and let's all have a fun time, because that's what we're here to do. I am doing my own comic book this year. I am the writer, I am the illustrator, I am the inker, and I won't be publishing it myself because that's kind of crappy. I will have a publishing house create the finished work, but I am bringing in 3 different artists because it is a 4-issue miniseries. And why a 4-issue miniseries, for those of you that haven't heard the story yet? The 4-issue miniseries is just because the nostalgia of the 1980s and early 90s, whenever Marvel used to do a spin-off of a 4-issue miniseries of their main characters, that you got to know more about their main characters through these adventures that they had, because it told more in depth about their origin story or where they came from, or just some adventures that you wouldn't get to see otherwise. But welcome everybody that's stopping in, even if again for just a brief moment. On TikTok, I get a 900 plus followers, or not followers, but viewers. Whenever I'm on Facebook or Instagram or something like that, it's like 10. You know, so I appreciate TikTok over here for introducing me to a whole new realm of people out there, and I am happy to get to meet all of you in some form, fashion, or another, even if it is a brief introduction. So you got Valentine's Day right around the corner. You got my blown pipes that we've been talking about right off the bat, where I had 5 different breaks during this winter weather time. The temperatures are staying above the teens now. We're at 20 degrees today, right now. So, sorry, I've got to get Brisk as my sponsor. Brisk, be my sponsor, please. Affiliate sponsor. You can send me stuff. This is their fruit punch flavor. It is one of the, by far, favoriteest flavors. It mixes good with alcohol too, just saying. More like a clear alcohol, not like a bourbon or anything like that. I mean, it might be okay with a bourbon, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, I had frozen pipes that blew up under the house. I had water standing all over the place. And it was fun. Luckily, the ground was so hard from being frozen that the water kind of just dissipated down to one end of the house, came out one of my access points, and then refroze. Basically, refroze the ground. So it wasn't too muddy under there right off the bat, but then the temperature started rising the very next day. It got to about 40 something degrees while I was working on it, so it made it a little bit of a mud mess, but it wasn't horrible. But there's still a lot of work that I got to do underneath the house, and it's kind of crazy to think that I put myself in this situation. I'm the one that bought this house, and so I get to deal with all the shit that came with the house. Okay. But that's okay. I am out in the country-esque area. I get to do my homestead as well. So not only am I an illustrator, a comic artist, I am also a homesteader. I've got chickens, I've got goats, I've got a pig, I've got ducks, I've got a pond. No, it's not a big pond, but it will be. It's got, I appreciate all the love and likes coming through. I do appreciate that. I appreciate each and every one of you for stopping in and even checking it out for even only a minute. But we do artwork here. And so the two latest ones I've got on my desk, which I haven't been able to work on because I've been under my house, is House of Secrets and Street Fighter from Capcom. House of Secrets came out way back when. This is a reprint of their number 92, which was the first, I'm pretty sure the first appearance of the Swamp Thing. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the first appearance of the Swamp Thing. The story was by Len Wein. If you don't know who Len Wein was, he is the co-creator of Wolverine, the co-creator of Swamp Thing, and not only do we have the Swamp Thing in my hand, Len Wein graciously autographed this cool Swamp Thing holo card for me a long time ago. Back in the 90s, actually. Because this card came out in 1992. I believe that's what that says. Yes, 1992. And it was 1996 when I had this autographed. I'm pretty sure, but you can see the Swamp Thing right there with the big rose on his lap. He's creating a rose. For those up here, I don't know if you can see that or not. Yeah, you can if you hold it just right. There we go. Let me get it over here where you can actually see it. Let me get that glare off of it for you. There we go. Alright, so he was a nice guy. I met him and talked to him for a very, very long time. And he signed a ton of books for me. A ton of Wolverine comic books, which I no longer have because I was an idiot. Oh, dang it. I got a shelf in my office that these set on, and it's not a very wide shelf. But yeah, I no longer have those comic books anymore. Popson, thanks for all the likes out there. But you get a lot of cool artists that you can interact with and be yourself with. But you also get a lot of jerks out there as well. Good afternoon. No, it's morning here. Yeah, Popson said good morning. Yeah, no, it's morning time, or good afternoon is what he said. It's good. It's morning here, buddy. But I appreciate you chatting with me here. So there's probably a good time difference where we are, apparently, if it's afternoon where you are. Thank you so much. No problem. I mean, I will call out people who, talk on my page. I don't have a problem with that because that's what this is for. It's to interact with people all around the world. I have sold artwork all around the world. Got stuff in Great Britain. I've got stuff in England. I've got stuff in United Kingdom. Where else? I got a few more places. You're in Nigeria. Very, very cool. So see, TikTok brings people together from around the world. So it is afternoon there. It is morning here. What time is it there in Nigeria? Because it's 5:24 in the morning here. I don't know what the time difference is there in Nigeria to the United States, Arkansas to be specific. But so I haven't done any new artwork here lately just because I've been crawling under my house. dealing with frozen water pipes. And so a lot. Oh, it's 12:25. Oh, it's not too bad. So it's about a 7-hour time difference. That's not horrible. If it's 12:25 in the afternoon, that's not a horrible thing. Only 7 hours. That's a drive to Texas for me. 7 hours. But I hope you're having a good time over there in Nigeria. Hopefully all is well. I don't know what's going on in Nigeria at this particular moment, but I hope all is well for you and your family. So, crawling under my house, haven't had time to do a whole lot of artwork. I've been splitting firewood because we're supposed to still be getting some colder weather up until the beginning of February, I guess. So, give me just 1 second, folks. I got to do one thing real quick. I will be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I had to go do a quick message to the girly friend who's at work. This is my work. I do artwork. I sell it to people all over the world. And if you're interested out there, just hit me up. Hit me up in my DMs if you're interested in anything that I have for sale. I do have an entire 3 portfolios that have the book is full of artwork. So if you are interested in any of that, hit me up, because I would like to get rid of it from me. Just because I don't want it hanging around. I enjoy it being in other people's hands and bringing a smile to their faces over there, wherever you are. So the next things I'm going to be working on is the House of Secrets blank cover, the Street Fighter blank cover, and then I've got a whole bunch more over here. And this is just a small sampling of what I've got. I've got my Batman here that I will be working on. Batman 100. Spawn I'll be working on. Spawn 329. Vampirella Strikes. I repainted this cover because I did not like what I'd put on there before. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This one is pretty cool. This is the Batman Noir edition. Absolute Batman, the new Batman that's out now. And then Prophet, which is one of my favorite characters out of the 90s. This is the 30th. This was 1992 is when he came out, and this is the 30th anniversary edition of Prophet by Liefeld and Panosian. But I probably have another 75 blank comics up here, and I'm wanting to expand that more. I have a buddy, Brandon Jones, that I know he has a comic book store, a collectible store, and he has a ton of blank issues. So I'm going to try and get with him and pick up all of his. I'm going to see what kind of a price he'll give me on that. And good morning, Annette. How are you doing today? And so they have a box and probably just one solid box of blank comic book covers. And I want to try and see what kind of a deal he'll give me on those. Just because the more you have, the better. Just because, how'd that even happen? One of the cats had to have jumped up there when they got in here. Good morning, Annette. Welcome to the show. He does have an entire box of them, and I want to see what price he'll give me, so that the more I have, the more diverse comic book covers I can create for everyone. Because he's got a ton of them. I went through the entire box and a half that he had, and you know, I particularly wasn't interested in some of them. But as I'm looking at them, it's just like, well, this person might like this person might like that, this person, so on and so forth. And then he had a bunch of Western ones too, which would translate well into like Yellowstone work, or any Western out there. And so it's just like, boom, I can have a whole new realm of audience with the different artworks that I could put on these covers. So I'm going to get in touch with him later on and see what kind of a deal we can work out. Because just on face value alone, there's probably over $1,200 to $1,500 worth of books there. And I am hoping, he'll cut me a good deal to get them off of his hands and out of his back room. Maybe even do some trades for artwork. Who knows? But that's my plan and my thoughts on that. And I am just looking forward to this year because a lot of cool things are happening. New product is going to be happening. I'm going to be doing, like I've said before, I'm going to be doing canvas prints. So you're not just getting a piece of paper. You're getting something substantial to hang on your wall. And I know that putting the artwork in a frame is awesome in and of itself as well. Just like I've got a ton of framed art around my office right now. And with that, to get something a little more substantial, something that looks like the original, be it printed out on a canvas, is just cool for people to hang on their walls. Because some people do want that substantial piece to hang instead of just a regular black frame, on the wall. Because if I had my way to do it, I would probably have more canvas prints from people on the wall if they had it for sale. Brisk, be my affiliate sponsor. I should probably do some designs for Brisk, huh? But with that, there's going to be 11 by 17 prints, and then there's going to be canvas prints. The canvas prints will come in probably two different sizes when it comes down to it. Probably an 8 by 10, and then probably something a little more substantial, just depending on the piece. 16 by 20 or something like that. But I haven't really decided on the print sizes yet, just because I got to see what all I'm going to put into print now. Anything new that I produce, like my Joker, those two Jokers will definitely be put on canvas prints. My Chester Bennington will be put on a canvas print, which those of you on TikTok unfortunately can't see what's happening over here on Facebook. But on Facebook, you get to see 6 different pieces of my artwork that I've done up here recently, which is my Venom that glows in the dark, my Joker, my Chester Bennington, my Dexter Morgan, my Weapon X, and the Art the Clown piece that I just showed a little bit ago. My new interactive hands-on piece. But which is unfortunate over here, because if I could do a green screen like collage running thing behind me, which I guess I could do a video and just have that running behind me like I see other people do, that I could flip through all of my artwork going across in a slow manner. That could be something I work on. So I have an intro on my Facebook, as far as whenever I haven't done it here lately, and I'm sorry, I need to get back to that with my video. Whenever I open up my sequence of events over here on the recorded section, and it is the Twilight Zone intro, and then it jumps into my logo. Twilight Zone was always one of my favorites back in the day. And I have been scoring a lot of new comic books here lately. A lot of cool stuff. I picked up Machine Man 1 through 4 for a really, really cheap price. I picked up some more of my Uncanny X-Men collection to fill in my stock. Let's see. But yeah, no, I've got 27 boxes of comics. I know in the world of comic book collectors, that's not a lot. But for me, that's over 5,000 comic books just sitting right here to my right, basically. About 3,000 of those I picked up from some friends of mine who have a construction business in Oklahoma City area. And the story with those goes, they got a request for a roll-off dumpster. They put it in the house that it was requested at. They get a call, hey, we're done, you can come get your dumpster. Well, before they rolled it off and took it to the dump, they started going through it to see if there was anything salvageable for them. And they came across these boxes that had comic books inside of them. Well, they contacted me because they knew I enjoyed comic books. And yes, I took them off their hands. And yes, I paid them for them. But there were some great comics in here. I mean, out of the 3,000 comic books, I'd say about 325, almost 400 of them were key issue comics. And so that was exciting. Just to go through them. The smell alone, when it comes to an old comic book that has been preserved together. Yeah, they put them in a Ziploc bag, which hurts because it doesn't get any oxygen to it, all that good stuff. So the pages slightly turn yellow. But most of these comic books were still in pristine condition. I can't say they were in mint condition because they do have a little bit of roll, or not rolls, but rounded corners and things like that. Now, some of them were very well read. You could tell which ones he read over the other ones. And they looked a lot worse than some of the other ones. It's almost like he bought them but never read them. Now, on about, I want to say about 58% to 60%, he did this catalog number on the cover, which doesn't hurt the value per a key issue. Now, on just a regular issue that only costs like $1 or $2 or something like that, yeah, it brings the value down because nobody wants it written on. So, luckily for me, whenever I get some of these key issues graded, it's not going to hurt the value, the overall value, because these are phenomenal books. Hulk 181, 182, Iron Fist number 14, the first appearance of Sabretooth. And 181 in Hulk, and the Incredible Hulk 181, 182. I wish there was 180 in there, because that was the first cameo appearance of Wolverine. The first full appearance of Wolverine, 181. And then the cameo appearance of 182 as well. Which was by Len Wein, who I just showed you the Swamp Thing card of. Bernie Wrightson and Swamp Thing here in House of Mystery, or House of Secrets, where you see the Swamp Thing in the background right there behind her. This was back in 1972, I believe, is when this first was printed. No, 1971. I was wrong. And I'm pretty sure that comic number, the reprint right here, number 92, was the first appearance of the Swamp Thing. Now, I could be wrong, and it could have been in a different date or a different book, but I'm pretty sure that was the first appearance. And that's why they reprinted that book by DC Comics out there. But I've been in the collecting business for a while now. I really started collecting probably in the 90s. But the very first comic book that I ever read was Uncanny X-Men number 186, which was a fight scene between Colossus and Juggernaut. And that just got me hooked into the Uncanny X-Men realm. A friend of mine had a subscription to the comic book because they lived out in the middle of nowhere, basically, and there weren't any comic book shops around. So he had a subscription, and when I would stay down there with my grandparents for the summer, I would read his comic books. And that was the very first comic book I picked up and read, and luckily he had some more behind that one, and it really got me hooked in the Uncanny X-Men realm. On the DC side, Swamp Thing, Batman, early on Wonder Woman. I'm trying to think of some more titles that I enjoy from DC, and I can't, because there's not a whole lot that DC creates that I enjoy. And that's just me, though. Now on the Marvel side, I can anybody in the Uncanny X-Men of 1963 until they ended the run. Now, let's go to my first collection of comic books. I was probably about 65 to 70 issues away from having the entire 500 and what was it? 583, 584 was the ending of the 1963 run. I was about 70 issues away from having that entire run. I had pretty much every spin-off you could think of. X-Force, X-Factor, Wolverine, any of the 4-issue miniseries, Nightcrawler, Longshot, which was a 6-issue miniseries, or was it 9? It was 6 or 9. I can't remember right now. But I had pretty much everything, and I had tons of autographs from people on these books. Well, fast forward 2010, I was getting remarried. I'd gotten a divorce, dated for a while, ended up getting remarried, and so it came down to comic books or the house. Comic books or the house. And I should have kept the comic books, because I'm no longer married to that woman and I don't live in that house anymore. But that was the down payment of the house, was the sale of my comic books, which included Uncanny X-Men number 1 from 1963. That was the most I'd ever spent on a comic book ever in my life. And it wasn't that bad whenever I bought it in 2009. But it still hurts to this day that I do not have those comic books of that era, because every one of them would have gone up in value, especially the autographed ones, and I would have got some of them graded, but they're all gone, never to be seen again, and some of them I will never be able to get autographs from again. Michael Turner, George Perez, Stephen Hughes. I mean, the list goes on and on. Now, I do have some of those autographs still here at the house. I have, you guys can't see, but directly behind me on my back wall, there's a lot of original sketches by some of these people on the back wall. Stephen Hughes over here on Facebook land and wherever else I send you, YouTube, directly above my head is Stephen Hughes right there. And then Jason Jensen, which way am I going here? Jason Jensen over here, right there. Both are from the Chaos Crew. The Marat Michaels is sitting right next to that. There's a Kate Beckinsale autograph back there. Picture. I've got Guy Gilchrist over there. I've got Ken Hunt sitting back there. I've got an original James O'Barr, the creator of The Crow, is sitting back there. Jordy Ensign, Art Nichols, who I just found out passed away. Very cool dude. He did a Spider-Man for me over a city scene. And the nice thing about all of these, in the original autographs directly behind me, and the original sketches, those were done back in the 90s. They didn't charge squat for an original sketch. I didn't pay a thing for any of those. I just went and talked to them and said, and they were like, "You want a sketch?" And I was like, "Sure." And they sketched it out on a comic backer board. And, you know, it was just like, okay, cool. And so nowadays, you can't even get that for free. That is a $50, $70, $100, $120, $100, and almost $200 piece sitting on my back wall from any of your artists that you go to. Even I charge something for the artwork that I do at a convention. It's not those prices by any means. But my price is based on the size of the piece of artwork that you're having done at the time. And I usually have them done long before the show is over. I usually blow through one. There was one day that I had to mail, the San Antonio show, for example, I had to mail off 4 different ones because I got swamped with artwork on that same day. I had probably produced about 6 pieces of artwork that day, and then 5 more people came in behind me, or behind those, and so I had to mail those off to people. So, but they were all understanding. They were cool about it, and that's the nice thing about that community, is that most people are pretty nice about their whole experience when I go to a comic book convention. Now you get some dicks, obviously. Just like you're going to have a bad experience with one of the guest artists or one of the celebrities that they bring in. And there were so many people bad-mouthing several of the guests that they brought in, the big name actors and actresses and things like that, that it's just, I guess it's part of the experience. I didn't have any problems meeting Michael Rooker. My girlfriend didn't have any problems meeting Giancarlo from Breaking Bad and Star Wars. And, you know, Michael Rooker from Walking Dead, from Yondu in, you know, Guardians of the Galaxy. A bunch of other stuff that he's been in a ton of movies. It's not even funny. But he is a really cool guy, a really nice guy. Got to chit chat with him for a few seconds while he was autographing 2 pieces for me. An original artwork piece that I did, and then also a little lanyard thing as well. And so it was very cool, very, very cool. And so just to meet some of these celebrities, it's cool. I don't fan out, I don't geek out whenever it comes to someone just because of their status. I've met many, many people. I used to work for Wally World. If you don't know who that is, that's Walmart. And I used to go to the business meetings 3 times a year. For the first 3-4 years of going to the meetings, I was a celebrity escort, meaning taking them from their green room to the stage, and then from the stage back to the green room. And I was in charge of a lot of highfalutin people. Just because that's what our job was, to keep them safe, as well as their own security as well. But Rod Stewart, Katy Perry, Eva Longoria, Mariah Carey, Backroad Anthem, Jonah Hill. I mean, the list goes on and on of the people that I helped escort from stage to there. And I didn't geek out like a lot of people did. whenever they saw these people. Just because, one, it was my job not to. Number two, they're just normal people that have made it out there in the world. And who's to say you watching my show aren't one of those people that are going to make it in the world? All you got to do is put your mind to it. And the whole aspect of the world is your oyster is true. Because you can limit yourself to, where you are now, or you can expand yourself and do more with yourself. Say you've got a hobby that you enjoy. Why not make it your profession? That's what I did here when I walked away from Walmart, which was the best decision I ever did in my life, for me, just because of all of the business politics and all of the corruption that is inside of Walmart on a daily basis. It's ridiculous. And so it was stressing me out. I wasn't getting paid near enough for the position I had, which was security, basically, asset protection. And then they go and change the whole platform to basically is like, don't touch anything, don't touch the cart, don't touch a backpack, that is ours, those type things. Because they wanted to keep their image over keeping their product. That's their choice. But they kept changing the rules every 2 seconds on how we were supposed to conduct business on our side, that it was just finally, I had enough. And then whenever you get a boss, Chris King and Bobby, that don't help or appreciate the things going on, they won't even communicate with you. And this was when my mom had brain surgery. I was out for a month with her, and the store manager communicated back and forth on a 3-way text that we had going on, but my own boss and my team lead wouldn't even talk to me. I don't play that game. So when I got back, I was expecting, to have my schedule back on the clock, all that good stuff. But I started looking, nothing had changed. I told them, hey, I'll be back on this date, October 24th, as a matter of fact. And the store manager's like, good. We'll see. We're looking forward to seeing you back. Glad your mom's doing good, because I told him my mom's doing well. Everything went fine. And so I get back, and not even a single communication from my own boss. Store manager, yes. My boss, no. Team lead, no. I did have a 2-week notice written up on the computer for March of 2024. Because that's when the bonus would have rolled out. After I would have got the bonus, I would have handed in my 2 weeks notice, and then I would have been out of there. And that would have put me straight up 10 years as of March 31st. And bonus would have came out in February. But after that little bit of communication, it pissed me off. So I rewrote the letter, turned it into a letter of resignation, and went in and was like, here you go. Dropped off all my stuff. Saw the store manager as I was telling some goodbyes in electronics. He comes over to me and says, hey, what's up? And I said, everything's great. Appreciate your conversations. And by the way, my letter of resignation is on the desk in there. And he was like, wait, what? And I told him the whole story. I said, whenever there's 3 people in a communication and only one person communicates back, there's an issue. And he was like, yeah, there is an issue, and I'll apologize for that. And I said, no, you do not need to apologize for that. The other two people in that conversation need to apologize. Which never got an apology. They were happy whenever I told them, hey, letter of resignation is on the desk. Because, boom, then they came out of the woodworks. Oh, sorry to see you go. We'll hate we'll miss you and all that stuff. And it's just like bullshit. Don't try to line it now, as you were already trying to push me out in any way by blacklisting me for whatever reason. But the last 2 years there were basically hell, if you will, in some form, fashion, or another. So if you get a chance to work for Walmart, don't. Just saying. They are not the company to work for. They are not the company they used to be. Let's put it that way. Their politics are worse than what's going on in the world now. Or 4 years ago, or however you want to put it. But, yeah, don't work for Walmart if you get the chance. Go for something better, higher. Do your own thing, just like I'm doing. My business has been around while I was working for Walmart. And, I did have to take off from work just to go to comic book conventions and things like that. But I would make more in a weekend than what I was actually making at Walmart for those 2 days. What I used to make what I made at comic book conventions put my 40-hour work week to shame, while I was sitting at a comic book convention. Yeah, you got to pay for the table. Yeah, you got to pay for your travel. Yeah, you got to pay for your food. Yeah, you got to pay for your hotel room. But all in all, I still was doing better at a comic book convention than 40 hours walking around Walmart trying to find a shoplifter. So, and that's the sad thing about it all, is because a lot of people told me growing up, including my stepdad, my second ex-wife, that this would never amount to anything. That this wouldn't put money on the table to pay the bills. Yeah, there's some times that it's rough. But it does pay the bills. I cannot complain. Just because, people are buying on a regular basis. And it's exciting to see whenever people come to you in your DMs and be like, hey, I need this imaginary vision in my head. Okay, done. Let's do it. So any of you watching that have something in your brain that you want to put on paper but you can't, I'm your guy. Let's do this. Let's do this. But no, I enjoy bringing a smile to people's faces. That's why I loved going to comic book conventions, because I would help the younger generation. Parents would bring their kids, she's a fabulous artist and stuff like that, and they would show me some of their work, and I'd be like, oh, that's cool, that's great. And it's true, because it is great for a young, inspiring, talented person, no matter what they're doing, music, art, electronics, whatever. It's awesome to see their parents excited about their stuff, because I didn't have that as a kid. Mine was always the negative side. Go get a real job. That artwork's never going to propel you anywhere. Find something substantial. Those type things. But if I can help a kid that the parents are doting over learn some new techniques, then I'm going to do it. Just because I didn't have that. Yeah, I went to a technical college after high school, and then I was in the art realm, some form, fashion, or another, up until 2007, whenever I turned in another letter of resignation, quitting a job where I was working at a metals manufacturing plant. It was actually a trophy company, yeah, Midwest Trophy. They did not like the fact that I joined the military and was gone, because they were technically supposed to keep my raises going while I was overseas, but they did not. They also were supposed to inform us of any promotions that were happening, and include us, military who were overseas, in that promotion state as well, but they never did. My pay stayed the exact same. I didn't get any of the bonuses that I was supposed to get, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I could have raked them through the coals, but I just thought it was better. Here's my letter of resignation. I'm done with you guys, and I'm out. Peace. Bye. So, yeah, I've been in the art field since 1991, 92. 91, 92, in that range, because I was working in 91 in the art department of a newspaper, and then in 92 jumped over to Award Design Metals, which was a trophy company for all of your big rodeos, such as NFR, PBR, NFYR, so on and so forth. And so and then he sold the company because he retired. His kids didn't want the company, so he sold it into 2 spots. Moved over to Midwest Trophy until 2007, and then 2007 to today. I've been in the art realm in some form, fashion, or another. Now, from 2007 to about 2000 and I'd say about 14, 15, I wasn't doing anything in the art realm, per se. Now, I was doing little stuff here and there, but for the most part, I was not doing anything art related. But yeah, we'll catch up next time, and we will hopefully have, more covers to show, because I'm going to start kicking some arse on these covers and get some new stuff up and running, and hopefully out of my hands into your hands. But I appreciate each and every one of you. Being here today, stopping in, chit-chatting for a little bit. I do appreciate it, even if it was for a few minutes for some of you. But like I said, on TikTok, I usually get about 900 views or more. On Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, I only get about 10. So there's a huge difference in the two. But I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate it again. And as I like to say, as I leave you guys, we will catch you on the flip side. Have a good day, everybody.